Sto con le cuffie, ma meglio.
So good morning, everybody. I hope it's actually everything working technically well. So thank you very much, Riccardo, for joining us. Riccardo, you are the CEO of Sergio Rossi. If I did my job properly since quite a while now, since the acquisition from Invest Industrial, the company is, of course, very well known. But of course, I let you present yourself, and also if you can give us some information about the company and the situation right now, and of course a bit of the background history. We know you have just had quite an important loss, unfortunately.
Carlo, thank you for the invitation. Good morning to everybody. Yeah, it's a peculiar timing because I'm in the Sergio Rossi from near 4 years. My anniversary is this month. We took with Invest Industrial of Andrea Bonomi the company 4 years ago from Caring. The idea was to rebirth the company starting from the heritage point of view, with the idea that we need to give the soul to the company. We started relaunching the factory, and the factory today is at the center of the process of the second rebirth. We already opened the operation last week in terms of preparation of the production. And now everything is ready and set up with all the healthy instruments to reopen properly on the 1st of May. So it's also a good sign, because factory was for the company, for the brand, and also for the next week, a great revamp of the satisfaction of the customer, of the quality of the products, of the consistency of the products. I built up personally the archive we call Living Heritage. It's funny because I still working with Dalla Valle before, and when I was working with Dalla Valle, but I have already decided to move to Sergio Rossi. Also during a trip with him, we started to buy shoes of Sergio Rossi in a fantastic vintage store in Berlino. And he told me, well, why so much passion? I need to try to understand the past of this company. Because, when you join a company that started at the beginning 70 years ago with Mr. Sergio Rossi, you need to try to grab a part of his spirit through his products and try to understand what was before in order to relaunch the company in the future in a new aspect. Was fantastic because now we have 6,000 shoes. I need to invite you as soon as everything will be finished. It's based in San Mauro Pascoli, so there is a dedicated huge space between the prototypes and the design and the factory where you can breathe 70 years of story. I think over there, I tell to my designer, if you want to do a shoes, go over there. You have all the shoes for the next future. Also, because it was funny, because many huge brands, the inspiration is from Sergio Rossi. So I told to my team, please, we need to look inside in terms of inspiration, because the story is strong enough. Then, unfortunately, we have the loss of Sergio a few weeks ago. I was, despite he was no more in the company, very linked to him. I finally invited him a few months ago to see the archive. He was shocked because he told me, why you made an archive on me? And I said, yes, Sergio, because you have everything in your heart, in your mind, but I need to get inspiration every day. So I cannot have you here every day. And it was fantastic to tell her, can we do the meeting here? And we stayed 4 hours in the middle of his shoes at the end of the story. So for me now, I got also double charge on my neck in order to spread the voice of Sergio in this true. And I believe that also all the message that we receive on Instagram, on the email, on the website is incredible. We collect already 1,200 design of normal customer they made on the shoes of Sergio. In fact, very soon we are going to launch, I hope already next week, because we need to be very fast today. Let me see a contest where everybody, they can send a message, because I want to celebrate his story in the next future. So I want to use also the contest and the material of the customer. The situation, as you know, we were affected already in January, because when you have China, you see the number in January and telling the truth a little bit November, December. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not a virologist today, very actual. But if I'm looking the number and the trend, already in November, something happens in China. The traffic was different, because I love the number, and sometimes I'm trying to summarize, and the booming that we had in China last year until October was so high, there was a little bit lowest in November, December, and always in January. So it means then already somebody knows, already something happens. Then January, always from the 24th, they close China, they close everything. And finally, due to also the experience of the SARS of many years ago when I was in an American company, the feeling was stop everything. I remind that day I call all the first line of my manager telling, from now you consider will be a disaster. And they tell me, why? It's only China. It cannot be only China, because everybody's traveling, taking the flight and the airplane like the car. So it means that very soon will be, I don't know how much strong here. So I stop most of the investment, most not the crucial, I keep it. Like I keep only the technology investment and the online investment. In fact, all the other managers, they look at the omni-channel department like, okay, why they keep investing and we need to cut everything? Was also a dispute between the market and the omni-channel. Why they still investing? I need to cut my events. Yeah, because the balance of the physical will be different. Now all my team is, okay, tell me, Riccardo, what is the next? So now they trust in me more and more, but it's only the vision. Sometimes you need to do it, because if you could keep in safe the company in January, is much better than put in safe in March and April. You gain 2 months, and 2 months or 1 year is a good percentage to do something more. Also, because what I'm asking to them is be very flexible and try to lose everything in your mind, not in concrete. But if you're able to lose everything, you will gain something. This is my motto in this period.
Yeah. And I want to quote an article which I found from an interviewer to you. And you mentioned you need to rethink the company from zero, realizing that what previously seemed important might no longer be relevant, which I think is very much in line with what you are already saying. But what do you think is going to be important next now?
I feel, my soul, me from more time. My feeling is I'm half manager, half entrepreneur. So I can understand the entrepreneur, because my family, they used to be entrepreneur. My father used to have a factory of apparel. My mother used to be one of the first Max & Co franchise in Italy in the 80s and the 90s. So I can understand what is in the back of the mind of the entrepreneur. Today they are always looking, okay, I made a fantastic company, or I made a good company, whatever. I put all my soul, all my energy, but now everybody is a little bit afraid, and they stay in a corner waiting what's happened. Is not the natural point of view today that you can have it. Because the bad point is that if you don't change your company now, you have an opportunity now. To every company, also my company, we made mistake. We are human. But now you can adjust the mistake. If you adjust the mistake now, nobody will tell you why you made it. You can imagine next year closing some store that was not profitable. Oh, what's happening, the bad image, good image. Today has to be natural. You want to keep surviving the company, so you need to, you will be smaller. Everybody in the luxury will be smaller. Will be smaller 20%, 30, 40, 50. But if you're able to be smaller, more flexible, more quick, more innovative, so with more technology in your process, but ready to restart, I will believe sure that next year, because in any case, this situation will last for another 1 year at least, or 1 year and a half. The point then, now you have the time to prepare the company for 2021, 2022. Because you need to work on 3 levels. One level is that you should do in January, February is put in safe the company. So what I can cut, what I can invest, what I can keep it to keep alive the company. Second part of my mind was how I can restart much quicker than the other. So prepare the company to start quick. But you have also a third vision that is a long term, what I can drastically change in the company to be a different company. Can be acquisition, can be vertical synergy with the line of production, because we have so many opportunity now. And also the price of this will be less than before. I'm believing that also the investment fund much more prospectical. Now they are evaluating to buy, to invest something. Always is more difficult to make a right evaluation because you don't know what's happened. But if you have a little bit of vision and you know that the heart of the company is surviving, so they will survive in any case, is a good starting point.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to listen to you talking about investment, while very often I'm very lucky to talk with a lot of CEOs, and they're actually most of them talking about cutting costs, and really the word investment only come up when you think about digital and e-commerce. But here you're more broad, I guess. I know also your personal history. You are much more open-minded, innovative, technology-driven. You are also in the board of Fashion Technology Accelerator. So what do you think is going to happen? It is realistic and possible that this situation will accelerate acquisitions of technology companies from luxury brands. Is it something that you might think is going to happen?
It's something that will, or the opposite. Could be also the opposite. If you consider also what's happened with Farfetch. Farfetch, I know Jose. Jose started as a technology man, not as a luxury man or e-commerce man. So he's investing so much over there, and then he bought some brands or some distribution company. So I'm feeling then has to be a synergy between the two worlds. Before was, let me see, natural and very on the trend to do it. Okay, we need to be technology, but everybody was investing millions of euros buying store in Monte Napoleone or whatever, and 100,000 on technology. To tell, but I love 3D, but the designer is designed well, let's design on the paper. This was the feeling, no? Or the other side is, I love technology, but next semester, I'm losing sales in one area of the world. It's better to save money. You are not saving. Now is coming mandatory. I'm believing that there will be an acceleration, finally. An acceleration. The problem is to identify the priority in the company. Because if I could have infinity money, I will invest in all the acceleration, 3D, and virtual reality, whatever. Also gaming. I love gaming. I believe that gaming will be an opportunity also for the luxury. Gaming, because will be sustainability, will be zero cost, zero travel, and money and cash money coming. So it's becoming also, gaming was a discussion the last year, but always soft. Will be an acceleration, absolutely, on that. I believe it. But if prego, Carlo.
No, sorry. I mean, when you're talking about gaming or e-entertainment, of course, COVID. When you talk with C-level managers in fashion, they give you one picture. But if you talk with other, like for example, owners or CEOs in gaming companies, in entertainment, in e-education, actually the numbers are often tremendously positive. So I guess this is also why final customers are really changing their consumer behavior. And I move forward into the next question. Who was pre-COVID your typical customer, and which one do you expect is going to be the next one? Is the same one with different trends? And if yes, which one, or different approach, or it will be someone completely different?
I think could be a mix of the two situations, because I think now we have an opportunity. One, let me say, before the opportunity is what you need to keep it. To keep it is your previous customer, then is afraid, because now you need to work on the psychological point of view. When I'm speaking now for the reopening of the store that will be 18th of May in Italy, I'm trying to give also webinar lesson with the store manager directly. I'm already organized, because now it's not only the technical, how is made the shoes, whatever. You need to take care of them. When they come in the store, they will be not so a big affluence, but when they are going to come, they want to relax the mind. It's like when you go with a friend to take a cup of tea, because the idea is to be a little bit relaxed and enjoy again the life. So it will be a different approach. So the same customer will be different approach, will be more deep in understanding, perhaps because they have more time. Before everybody was running, give me the shoes, I need to go. Now will be, good morning, I'm alone in the store, please sit down, your safety, everything in the store, you have a good smell, you have a cup of tea. So it will be much more customer clienteling focus on this situation. New customer, you have the opportunity to get new customer, because many they will be lost. Many they have the chance to stay also at home and understand better the brands. And I believe what I made in these 2 months was not telling about our shoes. If you see my Instagram, Sergio Rossi, there is no shoes in the last 1 month and a half. Only message about the people, message about the city, message about the dream. It's funny because we started with Milano, then San Mauro and Romagna. We put everybody's dreaming a plate of pasta in front of the seaside. I think this is a vibe that is value more than a shoes, than a car, than everything. So today you need to work at different level. You need to work to have impeccable products and the rest as before. But the story is which emotion is given this one. Also the philosophy that we made, that was also at the beginning of the support when we made the investment with Ospedale Sacco, and we have 8 hours by distance. So it means that you can do smart working. I have the idea. I call my marketing team on Zoom, everybody over there, and tell, okay, from next week I want to be, but it's difficult. Not difficult. You need to catch the momentum. And the reason is I want to let them dream. Buy a shoes, your costs go to help the people, and then you keep the shoes for the first dinner that you are going to go out, will be May, June, whatever. And was a success in terms of Love Mark, because today you need to, Love Mark was a fantastic feeling in the 90s, then was a little bit lost by too many money and cash. Okay, cash is the goal, but without Love Mark today, I think I got opportunity to get a new customer, absolutely, also younger, because the younger customer will be more reactive than my age on the older. Because we have the experience, but we need to take care to the kids, to the family, so you have more responsibility on the back. So when you have more responsibility, you are more conscious. When you are younger, a little bit less responsibility, you are much more speedy to react. So I believe in that also will be a relaunch of the millennial. Millennial, also the Z generation, whatever it means, because they were important, but this situation accelerate all the level. Technology, as you tell before, younger generation, and also Asia, because in this situation, Asia will be stronger than before, even if they started.
When you say there will be a further importance from millennial, you mean it from a customer point of view or also entrepreneurship point of view? Like, do you see
also entrepreneur? They have another. Now they are going to find empty space, because at the end of the story, some company will be 10%, 20%, 30%. I don't know how much they are going to close. So when you close, obviously, if you are able, who is already existing, you are able to resist. You have much more space, but also is the momentum where you can do something new. I'm already also thinking professionally as an investment to do something new, because now is the momentum, because you can do now. We will never happen to this generation. I hope never. Then you don't know if next 10 years something other will come, but it will be in any case different, because this is for us the first time that happens. So we don't know how to react. Second time, everybody, okay, I need to stay home. I need to do, so it will be not a shock. Now was a shock.
Yeah, and I see also speaking with a lot of investors, holding company, family office, which they are all convinced now for the very first time that digital and e-commerce is not a bubble, but will be really a big topic for the future, both direct to consumer brands, so digital native brands, but also technology-wise, the company that tech companies that are serving lifestyle companies like fashion, like food, etc., they will probably grow quite a lot. And here I have a question. When you are saying, I'm going to invest in digital, I'm going to invest in a way or another, even reinvent part of the processes of the company, what type of profile of service provider in tech are you looking for? Like very reliable, big companies, small or medium size? What are you looking for?
Okay, I'm working with Salesforce, that is very huge company, but as an infrastructure, because I think you need to build up the house with the best structure. But on the other side, when you go in the house, I love to have unique pieces. So I prefer to work with small dedicated company that they have passion, that I can always, I can connect through WhatsApp all day long, because then you need this. On the infrastructure, you need to be safe in the long term. but then you need to have daily interaction with the other segments. So we have many small, also startup company. We are starting a dialogue that can be from the now also with the health of the people is coming a lot of business. You know how many they have like smaller camera that they get the presence of the people, the traffic in the store, and the temperature of the customer. If you can put up everything one hand, you made a deal. And you don't need, and also, okay, we do the test after tomorrow. I love it. Today you need flexibility, and also the huge company, they need to change approach, because it has to be much more one-to-one, because as the final customer in the store, they want to treat with more time. We need also to be treated as a company, as a customer with more time. And the small company, they are much more ready and prompt to do it, because it's in the DNA. They are one-to-one, they are 1 to 3, 3 to 4. So yeah. I think it's a great opportunity also for the technology. And so the new startup, if they have the money, the problem only is also how they can survive without money. So, but if they have opportunity to have the money, is a good momentum, absolutely.
And what about, we know that, I mean, I was listening to an interview to the owner of Diesel, and it was kind of, very, very intense in terms of positioning towards the government. I will ask you something for the situation in Italy, but on the other side, it was also very, I would say, sharp in defining the difficulty to work in collaboration between entrepreneurs and top managers of fashion in Italy, where he was saying something like, it's much easier to not receive an email back from the CEO of XY company, known but not like caring, and shooting an email to an American large corporation CEO and receiving a feedback after 5 minutes. What do you think about how could the system, the fashion system in Italy, collaborate also towards reinventing partially the sector?
But we need to reinventing, because the segment was already a little bit shocked in the last year due to the other crisis. So it's not the first crisis for the fashion. So we know what's happened after. So we already changed approach. If I consider in the 80 and the 90, already in 2000, in the last 10 years, the fashion was different, a little bit less dreamy, a little bit more concrete, a little bit more reactive. But still, there is like a circus around that for me sometimes is not is the opposite what I designed Sergio Rossi. Sergio Rossi, I always tell to my team, okay, we need to design the company as a startup in the action, but with the shoulder, let me see, stronger in terms of heritage, factory, investment, and fund. If you can find that balance, I think is the right approach. Because the problem is always the bigger company, they have a good idea, but then when they put on the ground, a terra, as we tell in Italian, you can pass also 1 month, 2 months, today is like 10 years before. Because why? This is the problem of the entrepreneur point of view. They made a success like this. They started with the company from zero, also Renzo, that is a genius. They started from zero. They grabbed to the peak 20, 30 years ago. Then they fly on the sales with a fantastic win in an incredible success with vision. But then what's happened, then that instrument was very old and very slow. You get one magazine, TV was not used, no internet, and big store. So when you have a big store in the street and fantastic magazine and an incredible testimonial, the deal was done. Today, if we start like this, after tomorrow, I'm already close. I finish my money. So you need to, okay, have the store, but is the store connect with the stock that is based somewhere else? You can do the opposite. The customer is coming, is making experience. So now technology is fundamental because it's shortened this link with the customer. But the point is the manager, and now I hope they are going to do it, but they are doing. They need to cut all the extra. We have so many extra. In all the company, we have 20, 30% of extra in terms of cost. Okay, we used to do the fashion week because the fashion week everybody's doing for 40 years. Why we need to do the fashion week? nobody is coming in September in Milano. Nobody is going to New York. Nobody is going to be to Paris. So, but it's changing drastically the business, but not only the business of Sergio Rossi and the fashion, the air flight business, the airport business, the food business, the hotelier business is doing. Also sometimes all the system they try not to change because they are surviving. Human, they love when they find a comfy situation. Okay, it's working. So why now would they need to change? Because now it's not comfy. It's a disaster. So in the disaster, why I tell you, it's an opportunity to do it. Obviously, we will make some mistake. We will adjust it. But if you are quick and you have a startup mindset, the startup mindset, they try, oh, nobody's buying. Okay, change the project. And you face the world in another way. But if you have one idea and you see that there is no way, you go down, you cannot wait the ground before stopping. You need to stop after one day.
Yeah. And you mentioned multiple industries. So you mentioned fashion, food, traveling, design. This is exactly where we're working since quite a while here in Switzerland on this innovation center for lifestyle tech technologies, which of course I have to say it's already a couple of years we're working to set it up, but next May we're actually going to constitute. We are feeling a huge acceleration and need of innovation, and the canton also here in Ticino is really eager to transform it into an innovation park to offer to a European community. So what do you think about these innovation hubs that we are creating, and how could we make it very successful?
Yeah, the difficult that you have always, because I'm feeling also on the other side. I'm the board member of Alta Gamma. I just joined a few months ago, and I got from the president the goal of innovation in the company of the Alta Gamma. And we have hotelier, food, car, so furniture and apparel and accessory and jewelry. So we have more than 100 company. All the time, the difficult that I'm feeling as you is to organize something that everybody can take an advantage. Sometimes, okay, it's amazing for the store, but for the hotelier and for the food, we don't need it. So, and in fact, I'm starting also, thanks to another position that I got in the board of WIT, that is in a cloud company that is doing very well, is how now to guarantee the cyber security to all this company. Is innovation, no, but it's not sexy like the store innovation or the factory innovation, but it's very useful because today is the period nobody's speaking about where all the company are affected by cyber security attack. All the company, they are not telling all, because now the people, they are away from the office. There is no NAT close to you. You are working away. You receive, okay, can you connect here? You try, you give the password, you are lost. And you know how much, and this is an innovation that is not, as I tell you, sexy, but the value is incredible, because if somebody block your company on the back, you close the company. If there is no information within the store in the region, you are stuck. So you can also start from very concrete. I'm starting with this also with Alta Gamma, trying to get innovation and to get also new startup company to speak about the story, because sometimes you need 20 stories to take the heart of the people. But telling story and then becoming some concrete action, they will be confident to. So you need to become confident on this point to give alternative for niche, also alternative for anybody. So high level, low level, high level for everybody, low level just for the segment. If you keep this direction, will be a good situation, absolutely, because the people now, they know. Now finally they have the time and they have the hair to listen to you. Before was like a noise. Okay, innovation. We have 25 company coming. Yes, this is innovative, and you don't know all the time what is the best. But if you can create a platform that you are a trust with your location, with the name, with your face, then okay, I'm only making a selection of the best. Then I give you the best in terms of your needs. Is a great service, absolutely.
So from now on, we open for sure questions from the audience. We do have quite a lot of followers actually, and we're starting receiving questions. But I invite everybody that has ideas and want to ask you something to please move forward. that can be done on the YouTube channel mainly. We have a group of students coming from the digital fashion communication, students of the University of Lugano. So it's a group of students. They set it up this class as a first initiative a couple of years ago together with La Sorbonne. Now it's really booming in terms of recruiting a number of students that wants to join. And one of the students has a question, and she says, you've been talking for many years around the importance of sustainability, but what does it mean sustainability today?
For us, finally, sustainability started when I joined the company. The first step I made was, okay, we need to do a P&L of sustainability that is on the website. So you can go to see from already 3 years ago. It's published. Sustainability, the problem is everybody's thinking about, okay, ecological, energy. That is a big share of the sustainability. In fact, our company from January is 100% with renewable energy and source certified. That is a good point to give a sign. I'm also making not only for my company, but for my family, for my kids. So I got a responsibility for the generation of the future. But the second and third step is the social environment. You can imagine when you have a factory also, we have more than 200 people working in the factory. So it means more than 200 family, but we have another 200, 300, 400 family around with people making small part of production. And most today, sustainability is becoming crucial because if I cannot help them in terms of money, economy, and work for the future, we are going to lose this capability. And I tell you, Italy is the only one able with this capability. So it's like it's the last stadium of save the dinosaur. It means if we lost this type of shoes, you cannot do anymore. We are going to do in the normal way, but will be another shoes. So I'm also have a responsibility in the social. I spoke in the last weeks more with the supplier than before. Before was also much more a problem of how I can adjust it, the payment and everything. Now is also, I'm here, I want to go ahead. I'm trying to give them also a positive sign because all this company, they are familiar company, perhaps with 10 people, 8 people. And if in the mind of them will switch on the light, okay, I made my work, I need to rest. I need to in a fantastic island, I'm lost because there is no young generation still able to do this process. We are investing on the Cerca school locally, but it's taking time to get some in my production line. There is when you do the montatore, so when you prepare the shoes is the crucial time. You need to have at least 20 years of experience to do it. So you can imagine how we are investing, but in 4 years, I will never have the new generation in the next 14 or 16. So it's crucial that sustainability is sustainability of energy, of social, and the local community also. Because social is also local community. I think everybody, the motto of the next 1 year and a half will be, as it is, innovation, flexibility, velocità, but also local community, local customer, local supplier. Because we don't think that we can fly every day. Will be a different. Can be fly perhaps in September, but after 2 months they can close everything, can refly in January. You don't know. So local is in a global world. Local is becoming crucial. It seems like a film with a fantastic film mover that it makes. What's happened? You believe fly, and global, and now you need to stay at home and work local, but with the mind thinking global. So it's a very difficult but also challenging moment.
I mean, I think you are one of the very first one that really, as a CEO, decided to invest in local production and innovation in the factory. Is that a competitive advantage that you have compared to others that are producing abroad right now?
Yeah, in fact, what I believe, I'm ready to get more production for other brands. I already started the beginning of the year. We are also making production for other brands. And also was my vision to share the risk. That in fact was very lucky the first trimester because we made a good production, good turnover that saved the situation. So also sharing this story, and the factory is 20,000 meters. Now we are making more than 1,000 shoes. Now, no, next Monday again, more than 1,000 shoes by day. But this is a factory that can reach with new people 2,000 per day. There is no another factory like this in the world with this quality. So, and when I arrived, was a factory lost, a factory that, if you see the number, if me and you invested as a financial point of view, this was a factory to close. But I told to Bonomi, if I come, you need to keep me the factory. Because factory is like, I made an example that everybody can understand. It's like Maranello for Ferrari. Also Fiat, when they bought the company, they wanted to close Maranello and move everything to Torino and Arese. This was the project. But you can imagine now Ferrari without Maranello is like Sergio Rossi without Samaro Pascoli. It's the same. Because, the company started over there. You are not closing like a factory that was the factory number 26 made in the wrong location. This is like the starting point of everything. And when I invite the customer, the journalist, the partner, they become shocked. They see all the story, all the heritage is my best storytelling, and now is more important than before.
Of course. We have a question from Ineta. I guess she's working for Headhunter. And basically what she's asking is, of course, we are facing significant change in also probably the volume and the turnover of the company, and we need to see which will be of course, the possibility to keep the people at the end, but also which profile of people you're actually eager to have, to develop, or to hire in this very special situation. And so she's basically asking, on one side, which are the typology of profile that you potentially look for if you don't already have in the company, but let's say the one that would be kind of the anchor people in the company right now. And on the other side, if you have any suggestion for an headhunting company on where to focalize their effort and skills and expertise in this month.
Obviously, the turnover of the fashion company will be a disaster. I believe that you can take note, but most of them, they will be back with the number of 2017, 2016, or 2015. So it's like coming back of 5 years, 5 years. 5 years of big growth, because if the company was flat, it will be 10 years. So we know because the first trimester, you see the number published, less 30, less 35, whatever, but the second trimester will be a disaster because all the stores in the world, except China, a little bit of Hong Kong, are open. So it means that, and China is doing better number, but it's not the same than before. So it means that I think in this trimester, the company can lose 80% of the sales, 70% of the sales easily. That it means 30, 70, you are at the middle of the year, half. And then everybody's crossing the second semester. I'm not believing as a booming. It's not a SARS. Everybody's telling me, yeah, it's like the SARS. I thought SARS was 300 dead between China and Hong Kong, and Singapore 1. So it's not a point. It's not a reference that people can travel, that we can go on holiday in America, in Paris, whatever. Now you are stuck at home, and also psychological is different. Over there, nobody had fear to die. Now you don't know. You go out, everybody with the mask until next summer. You can imagine. So the point is, people is always, but most today is, I'm looking, as I tell, the fire in the eyes. Most today than before, because capability and everything, you can have it. But I prefer sometimes in the moment people that they can give 120%. But with the flexibility to understand my message and to be a fantastic interpreter. Because today, the direction has to be one, most today, but the interpreter is like a big film. You have one filmmaker, but the actor, I want to have 3 big actors. But the other, they need to be very quick to move everything and to move the rest. The film will be amazing. I don't need thousands of people amazing. I need 3, let me see, sergenti, as we call in military, that they do the action and they take the time. But when you have also, I'm working, give an example. I got a legal in my company that is a young legal. He made a master with me in these 3 months. He had unlikely the situation that he stay in my same town now, because it was the same weekend in the same town, he remained here. We are speaking 1 hour per day because today legally in terms of renewal the contract is every day. But it's so young that he's telling me, I'm so happy today to work like this, but he's available 24-hour days. And for him is coming. Also, you need to smile. I love with passion this work. This is why I'm looking the flame. If you have this passion and the flame, you have a future. It doesn't matter. Can be the segment, and you need to be flexible because I'm believing that the company of the future, they will be not only I'm expert of doing this. You cannot be only expert in once, because if you are too expert in something, you are blocked. And I'm a little bit afraid about the people too expert in something, except this factory of manuality where you need to have. But when you are with the mind, it's better than you know well something, but in this period you are looking to understand something else. Technology innovation will be easy, but also all the relative around you. In fact, I'm believing that in the next future, the main people already have made a promotion in my company. One person take another area because she was much more open to understand the other area. She was more curious. So curiosity, flame, energy is something that I'm looking. And the last question was what they can do. For me, they can help the company making a map like they do in technology. You know, technology is coming like an example. You know, a map of like the cybersecurity. What is the situation of your employee in terms of passion, capability, and attitude? More than what they are able to do, because the people we know how much they can do or what they can do. But in terms of passion, reaction, how they see, much more psychological, so they can work much more in this direction. Will be fantastic to have a map of the company. Okay, my 500 people, 100 they are lost in terms of psychological. They don't want to come back to work. It's also important to know, because you know that you need to work with them a little bit more psychological than on the concrete way. And then you have somebody that was a little bit under the ground that now is coming out. You can have it.
Yeah, I see. There is another question coming out from Claire. She said that you said in the past that you were planning to expand in UK and in Hong Kong significantly. What is the plan now? So are you actually thinking to move forward?
I want to be provocative. I can also evaluate it to close everything. I'm the same person than before. And I tell you why, because now the situation is how many loss do you need to afford in the next 2-3 years? And all this money, I can invest in another area or in another situation and come back after when the situation will be better. This is a reason how you need to, everything is different from before. Hong Kong, there is a big problem. Hong Kong, I'm in the chat with different brand over there, is the country in the world where the landlord, they didn't understand what's happened. I'm discussing with all the landlord, all the brand, they still, yeah, 1 month, 1 month. Sorry, but from July, you are stuck for the protest. Then you have the first wave of coronavirus, now the second wave. It's already 1 year. I cannot stay more than this. I wrote yesterday night the last letter. I told them this is the last call. But why? Obviously, Hong Kong for me was the first country when I arrived in the company. You can imagine that next year can be the last. You see how much, because also you need to see what's happened politically. Shenzhen is booming also now. So what's happened geopolitical over there? I think Shenzhen is getting a lot of share of Hong Kong. And now the direction will be buy locally. But buy locally in let me see, in the China region and not going perhaps to Taipei, Hong Kong, and Macau will be disaster. And how I can pay now a rent of 3 years ago is unfair. So now they try, and the problem is, but they are killing themselves, because if I find a landlord that I didn't yet find, perhaps only in the outlet business, they are a little bit more reactive. But in the traditional, they tell, no, I give you 1 month. Sorry, 1 month of discount. What I can do? I'm doing, just to give you an idea, Hong Kong is doing 80%, 90% less than last year from July. So how you can survive? Now many companies, they are closing the subsidiary. So today the most suffer is the right question, is UK and Hong Kong, because they become a little bit before UK independent in the wrong momentum, because fine at the end of the story, UK alone, they were thinking to become the Singapore of Europe, because this is the idea. They never tell, but they want to become the Singapore, the new Switzerland of Europe. But in this situation where the people, they cannot travel and the business is not over there, you become alone. You become an island. But over there, the landlord is a little bit more reactive. Why? Because the government say that if the store is on rent with somebody, the tenant is not paying the taxes for 1 year. But if it's empty, the landlord is paying the taxi. So they force, with the one simple action, the landlord to find a compromise with the tenant.
And you mentioned now a few times about government. I mean, we are personally, as you know, I'm based in Switzerland, and of course here we have quite, I have to say, important and positive reaction from the government. We personally, as a company, we have received the possibility to put people on it's called reduced working hour, and from the month after we are really receiving cash to pay the salaries. And on the other side, we also received, I have to say, quite surprisingly for me first, in 2 hours alone, up to 10% of the turnover of your company from the year before. So I have to say that personally, I feel very lucky. But what is, in your opinion, what the government should do specifically to help and support an industry which at the end, in Italy, but in France, and many other countries like luxury and fashion, it's really creating a lot of jobs and a lot of value and a lot of taxations at the end. What should the government do to support you?
When I listen to you, I'm feeling a little bit bad because the situation, I don't like so much politics, but many times in this period, the people, they ask me a point of view. I'm thinking as a company, that is always a good point of view. You have a problem, and the big problem to do is to be very quick and reactive. I think what you're surprised, you get the money after 2 days. Yeah, the situation is different. It's like a kid that fell down. Okay, I hurt my arms, and I tell to my mommy, I got my arms. Okay, they tell me, yes, I'm coming. Your mommy in Switzerland come and give you all the medicine. My is tell me from the other room, I'm coming, but it's not coming. So the point is, like, you feel also much more the bad, because there is nobody taking care about you. The situation is, I prefer less talking, because it's becoming all the time like a beautiful series now, where every time you tell also, and I think everybody need more concrete action, because I don't take care if I need to stay at home 1 year and not running. Nobody take care.
What are, in your opinion, the 3 most concrete action that they should?
The first action was what they started to do in a wrong way. I will tell, okay, tell me that it was very similar to your 10% of your turnover last year. I give you to you, not to the bank. Because the bank, you are saving the bank. Because you know what's happened now with the bank in Italy? They are keeping the debt that you have. They tell you, send me back that is on my risk. I give you the other one on the risk on the country. So now we are helping the bank, again the bank, that they are not making anything. So we are helping the bank to clean their debt with the company. So the goal is, I give to you, and I can also add something. I give you for 6 years, 7 years, with a rate that is incrementary. The first year is 0, the second is 1, the third is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at the end of the story, the profitable company at the second, third year, they will give you back the money because it's too expensive. But you can give a ratio that if you need more and pay 6, 7%, keep it. Will be very easy, but you need to have already in the cash in April. In cash in April will be a good point. I can go ahead. You can also oblige me. You cannot change more than 10% of the people. So you need to have like a path of stability, not to then destroy everything. Absolutely. But let's do this action. It's already good action. But the problem is the bank. The bank, now they are making their interest again. So the interest of the government and the company is mixed in the middle of the interest of somebody else. I got already example of company, not our, because we don't have any debt with the bank, finally. But they went to the other telling, you have 1 million of debt, is on my neck, send me back, I give you 3 million on the deck of the government. In this case, I want to have one staff dedicated to this. I will approve by night, if I want in government, all the process. Tell me, which is the debt before? Why you cancel? No, this one remain on you, this one on my. So you have more money for the other. If not, the risk is that with all the money, you recover the same company that you have the debt with the bank.
And in terms of landlord of retail, should they take any action there?
Yeah, over there they made another mistake. Instead of tell you cannot pay and there is no legal action for one more, no, you need to tell for 2 months, it means March, April, and May, 3 months, don't pay. You are the landlord, I give you a credit on you for the money that you are not getting. It's already done. Why I need to pay and then I need to ask as a company the credit? I don't have the money. The landlord is more easy. Don't get the rent, but immediately credit on VAT, on everything, and don't do on the profit. VAT, 740, taxi for lab, or everything. So we need to create, and I'm not in politics, but it's something very logical. It means, which is the shorter way? We are still looking in politics like in the fashion. We do the show, we invited the people, we take the car, and now we go digital. And what's happened over there? They still go to the bank is waiting, they decided what to do, and then they come. It's already 1 month. They tell I'm giving the money, but money is not coming.
Yes, we're really getting close to what, unfortunately, I have to say it's a fantastic discussion. Thank you very much for sharing your insights, which overall, I get my personal feeling that, as usual, leaders with a positive approach, they always find out a way to turn a crisis into an opportunity. And I see in the way you are talking, reacting, knowing perfectly about the very sad and difficult situation, but still thinking about investments, still thinking about the future, still thinking to what's next. What do you have to share with, or what is your message, let's say, that you want to share with our tech and fashion community that is following us?
I think you need to be, now everybody is conscious about the situation. So the fair has to be put in one side of the art. We have it, everybody, but we need to put over there. Now is the momentum of not only the courage, because at the beginning in January, February was courage to cut something. Now you need to use audacity, as I call, because audacity is a little bit more strong than courage. I always tell to my team last week, because audacity, you are afraid, but you want to, is when you fell down, you get like a stock from somebody, an enemy. If you stay down, you are died. You need to react, but you need to fight. You need to have a plan of attack. So now is the momentum to create a plan of attack. Perhaps you are going to lose, no problem. As I told before, today is the momentum where you need to be able to lose everything. But if you're able to lose everything, you are going to win. You are going to win. But you need to do something extraordinary, not regular. Today is no more the momentum of the regular step. If you do regular, you will disappear. You need to do something that in your mind it seems strange, crazy, is the moment to do. Much more today than yesterday, you become a crazy man, a businessman. Today, you are a visionary. The difference is very slightly. Perhaps you are a crazy visionary that felt, but it's better to felt as a visionary than to die to be sit in the chair and wait in the wave.
So yeah, I think we are. I mean, what could as we comment here? I think, like, honestly, I believe it has been a very deep and interesting interview. Thank you again for your time.
Grazie, Carlo.
And yeah, I mean, thanks a lot.
Grazie a tutti.
Thank you.
Ciao, a presto.
Ciao.